Welcome to the Empowered Working Mom Revolution podcast, the ultimate destination for all you incredible working moms out there.
I'm Jocelyn Ao-Young, a certified life and mental health coach, and my mission is to help busy working moms succeed in their careers without sacrificing their well-being and relationships with their kids and family. This show is your guide to creating transformational change in you as a working mom, where you'll discover your own empowering, actionable tips and tools. We'll dive into inspiring stories and topics such as nurturing your well-being, setting boundaries, managing time effectively, and cultivating self-compassion. So join me here every Wednesday as we revolutionize how you show up as a working mom, which makes remarkable changes in yourself, your family, your career, and the world around you. Remember to hit that subscribe button and let's go on this transformative journey together.
Welcome to the Empowered Working Mom Revolution podcast. Are you ready? Let's dive in.
A quick announcement before we dive into today's episode. Are you ready to reclaim your time and reduce your stress so that you can enjoy your career and motherhood? Then grab your free guide to setting boundaries. They'll give you 3 actionable steps that you can take to set your boundaries and enjoy your time for yourself and with your kids, and also be efficient and productive in your career. Go to www.empoweredworkingmomrevolution.com to download it, or you can find the link in the show notes as well. Alrighty, let's dive into today's episode. Hey there, everyone. Today, we're diving into the art of setting boundaries for career-driven moms. Now, if you're anything like me, being a mom is one of the most rewarding experiences, but when you add on a career, it can often feel like a juggling act. So I know that many of us might find ourselves really stretched to the max with constantly juggling responsibilities and often struggling to find time for ourselves. I know that I struggle with that too from time to time. But setting boundaries is not only essential, it's definitely empowering. So buckle up, grab your favorite cup of coffee, get cozy, and let's explore how to set boundaries that honor both your career ambitions and your role as a mom. So today we'll be focusing on 3 key aspects of setting boundaries: identifying your needs, communicating your boundaries, and overcoming the mom guilt. All right, let's start with the first key aspect of identifying your needs. As a career-driven mom, it's totally easy to put everyone else's needs above and before your own. I'm totally guilty of that. But in order to set effective boundaries, you need to first understand your own needs and priorities. So I invite you to take some time to reflect on what's important to you. Whether it's carving out time for self-care, pursuing your career goals, or spending quality time with your family, there is no right or wrong answer. It's just checking in with yourself, what's important to you. Because by clarifying your needs, you'll be better prepared to set boundaries that support your overall well-being. Okay, now let's move on to the second key aspect to setting boundaries, which is communicating your boundaries. Now, I know this can often be the most challenging part, especially when it comes to navigating the expectations of others, but also if this is not something that you're used to doing because you have fear of what other people might respond or think about when you communicate your needs and your boundaries. But I want you to remember that setting boundaries is not about being confrontational or aggressive. It's about advocating for yourself and your needs. So whether it's negotiating flexible work hours or your workload at work, delegating tasks at work or even at home, or even saying no to additional commitments that people are asking of you, the key is effective communication. Because remember, you deserve to be heard and respected. And finally, the third key aspect to setting boundaries is the elephant in the room, which is mom guilt. So let's talk about mom guilt. All right. As career-driven moms, we often struggle with feelings of guilt when we prioritize our own needs over others. Raise your hand if that has ever happened to you. I'm guessing it's happened to you at least once today, or at least in this week. But here's the truth. Your self-care is not selfish. It's absolutely necessary, and it's an act of self-love and self-leadership. Because by setting boundaries and honoring your own needs, you're not only modeling a positive example for your own kids, but also making sure that you have the energy and resilience to show up as your best self in all areas of your life, in your career, in your friendships, and in your home. Now, I'd like to share a personal story that shows you the importance of setting boundaries as a career-driven mom. So a few years ago, I found myself really overwhelmed and on the verge of burnout. I mean, if we're going to be really honest, I was actually probably burned out and I didn't know it. I was working really long hours as a teacher, and while I was also building my coaching business and saying yes to every request, and also neglecting my own well-being in the process. And I began to notice that the stress and the exhaustion were taking a toll because I was really being reactive to my own kids and my spouse. And that's when I realized that something needed to change. And I needed to set boundaries to really reclaim control of my time, my energy, and my happiness. So how did I do that? I started small. I began saying no to really non-important tasks, whether that's at work or even at home. An example of this would be like, cleaning the bathroom every week. Like, those are non-essential tasks. Does it need to be cleaned every week? Not really. Setting aside time for self-care. That's when I discovered that one way I can honor my self-care is to give myself time to go for a walk in my neighborhood. And then prioritizing my family's needs. And you know what? It wasn't easy. It was clunky in the beginning because I was trying to figure, which boundaries to put in place and also how to communicate that. But it was so worth it because now I am able to have a healthier and more satisfying life by setting those boundaries and communicating those boundaries. And this has impacted not only myself, but also my family. And the best part, I no longer feel guilty for putting myself first. So that mom guilt is not as intense as before. I'm going to be honest, it is still there, but it's like 10% versus it was like 100%. Because I knew that by taking care of myself, I could show up as my best self for those that I love and in my career. Now let's bring in some expert insights to really kind of drill in the importance of setting boundaries for us career-driven moms. So research shows that women who set clear boundaries in their personal and professional lives experience greater satisfaction, lower levels of stress, and improved overall well-being. So by prioritizing your own needs and communicating your boundaries effectively, you're able to create a more fulfilling and sustainable life for yourself and your families. Alrighty, so there you have it, the 3 key aspects to setting boundaries, which is identifying your needs, communicating your boundaries effectively, and overcoming the mom guilt. Now remember, setting boundaries is not only important for your well-being, but also for your success as a career-driven mom. So remember, you deserve to prioritize your own needs and set boundaries that honor your needs, your values, and your aspirations. Alrighty, before we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a challenge. Take some time this week to reflect on your own boundaries and identify areas where you can make some improvements, whether it's communicating your needs more assertively and effectively, setting aside time for self-care, or letting go of the mom guilt. Because remember that you have the power to create a life that aligns with your values and aspirations. Alrighty, that's all for today's episode here on the Empowered Working Mom Revolution podcast. I hope you found it insightful and empowering. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to subscribe and share it with other career-driven moms in your life, because together we can support each other in setting boundaries and thriving in both our careers and personal lives. So until next time, take care and remember to embrace your power as an empowered mama. Bye, y'all.